Great. Okay, welcome everyone to the March meeting of the Board of Directors of the Environmental Facilities Corporation. It is 11:44, Thursday, March 13th. How about a roll, please?
Sure. Chair Stefanko?
Here.
Chair Lupton? Or,
here.
Yeah. Director Leary?
Here.
Director Corcoran?
Here.
Director DeMarchi?
Present.
Director Zarowski?
I am here.
And Directors Westerman and Krasansky are absent, but we have a quorum.
Great, thank you very much, Connor. First item on the agenda is approval of the proxy designation, appointing me, Jeff Stefanko, as designee for Acting Commissioner of Environmental Conservation, Lefton. Obviously, the Commissioner and I will abstain from the vote, but I'll take a motion in a second for that proxy designation.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Francis.
Second.
Thank you, Vita. Any discussion? Appreciate that. All right, all those in favor of this proxy designation?
Aye.
It's unanimous with one abstention. All right, next item is approval of the draft minutes from the January 23 board meeting. Let's see, we only had Vita who was unable to attend that meeting, so we'll only have one abstention. I'll take a motion in a second for the approval of the draft minutes.
So moved.
Thank you, Adam.
Second.
James. Okay, any discussion? All right. All those in favor of approval of the draft minutes? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, unanimous with one abstention. Report of the chair. I personally don't have much to report other than I'm happy to have the commissioner, acting commissioner, Lefton at my right here. We're really looking forward to the next iteration of the DEC and its mission and path. So other than that, I don't know if you want to say anything real quick.
I will just say, so Acting Commissioner Amanda Lefton here. I am really honored to assume the position of chair of EFC and work alongside this really important organization and incredibly important mission for New Yorkers. Today we're having Jeff Stefanko continue to serve as proxy, as I will not be here during the entire meeting, but look forward to participating in meetings to come alongside the incredibly capable and expert team at EFC, as well as the other distinguished board members. So thank you for having me here today. I'm really looking forward to deepening our partnership together.
Amanda. All right. Madam President.
So I always have a couple things. So everybody, before the official meeting, we went around and introduced ourselves. So I don't need to repeat all that, but I really wanted to welcome Acting Commissioner Lefton. Amanda and I worked together when she was first assistant secretary for Energy and the Environment in the governor's office. And I was general counsel here at EFC, and it was a great working relationship. And she was very much an advocate of EFC. So we're very excited to have you heading DEC and continuing the great working relationship we've had. Sean Mahar will be continuing at DEC, right, as executive deputy commissioner. So we'll still have that relationship and we'll continue that great working relationship. So very excited to have you here. Thank you. And second, we're asking in ID number 1 for the board to approve the amendment, adoption of the regs for the scoring regulations, and I'll turn it over to Henrik to speak about that a little bit.
Yeah, we're very excited to have you guys consider and hopefully approve our amendments to the regulations for scoring projects. We're adding climate change, cybersecurity, asset management, and resiliency as items that would score points when our colleagues in engineering ascertain the worthiness of various projects. So it's been a long time, about a year we've been working on these. Extend great thanks to our colleagues at the Department of Environmental Conservation for all of the help they gave us. in getting these through. And we plan on shipping these up to DOS this afternoon, provided we get the good answer from the board today. Thank you.
Thanks, Henry.
And last is we are closing, hopefully if we get approval today from the board on the financing and the grants. We will be closing with Albany on the first LIFT grant, the lead infrastructure forgiveness and transformation grant for lead surface lines. So this is the state grant that will pay off the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act loan portion of the funding for Albany. So they will be closing on Thursday, the 20th, and then we will be doing an event in Albany with DOH and some other folks to announce that funding. So I won't go into the dollar amounts because that'll be explained by Dave, I think, when we talk about the project. But again, it's great to be announcing the first actual closing on the LIFT grants, which is a great program, the state making up the difference so that ultimately these communities won't have to go long-term with a loan. That loan will be paid off. So it'll be an interest rate loan at first, and then the state grant will pay that loan off. And that's required because a certain percentage of the federal funding has to be given out in loan, at least in the first instance. And so we found a way that we could then pay that off the grant so that they don't have to pay anything at all for those lead service replacement program projects. So, and that's it for me today.
Great.
It's exciting.
Can I just add that the project went to the board last?
Oh, it did? Oh, okay. Then I will tell you dollar amount. Sorry. So it's a $9,005,098 grant from the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, or bill, and a $3,859,328 interest-free financing, and then the lift in the amount of $3,859,328 to eventually pay off that financing in the same amount. So I just wanted to announce that that is going, again, closing next week and an event on Friday to announce it.
Thank you. Any questions for Maureen?
Or Dave?
Okay, we had no committee reports today. I guess we start up again with audit next month in April. No unfinished business, so we'll move right to the resolutions. Resolution number 1.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation to adopt and approve amendments to 6 NYC RR Parts 649.13 and 649.16A related to regulations of the Clean Water State Revolving Fund.
Connor, could I have a motion and a second, please?
I'll make the motion for ID
Second.
1.
Thank you, Francis. Henrik Weston will present.
For your consideration, as discussed earlier, are amendments to our current scoring criterion as enshrined in regulation. We plan on adding points for engineering projects that take into consideration cyber, climate change, resiliency, and also asset management. So that's essentially what we're trying to do. And give it.
And I'm sorry, and comments, right? We went out for public.
We did receive comments. We had a hearing in February, and those comments were, quite easy to manage. They didn't have a lot to do with our proposed amendments. They had more to do with, other aspects of our program. So, yeah. And then we will do a notice of adoption today, and these will be adopted April 2nd, if approved.
And from a workflow standpoint, Bill's group will take these, and I see Caitlin's on, and we will look at our current IUP and rescore every project there with these amended regulations in mind so that going forward, we'll be financing based on this criteria.
Which
Yeah.
is a very big undertaking.
And that is quite an undertaking for that group.
Right.
We appreciate it.
They'll be
Recognize that.
public in the draft IUP this summer.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of work. Is it comment time yet? I was gonna say, when I read through it, I just want to commend our team on the if this, then that's that they have to go through in the scoring. I hadn't looked at these in a long, long time on how these are scored, but thank you for adding such important elements, particularly the cyber and the asset management, resilience, climate change are really important. So this is great work. And I commend everybody who has to follow the regulations and get down through all of those factors and score them appropriately. It's a lot. It's a lot of good work.
And we're happy how quickly we got the regs done. It was a state of the state proposal of the governors last year. And
Yeah.
so in about a little over a year, we
Yeah.
will have the regs adopted.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's important factors to include. So very good.
Certainly echoing that. And the one question, Henrik, I think you said it, but just to confirm that there was no, and the materials didn't have a red line. So I just want to confirm there were no material changes in light of the comment period and the hearing period since the briefing we had, whenever it was a couple weeks ago. Right. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for that question. No, you're right. No.
No, just figured that's what you said, but might as well have that clear.
Yeah, thank you.
And kudos to you guys on putting this all together. And in the intended use plan, it'll give them sort of the parameters on each area, right? So like cybersecurity, will it say things like from McAfee security on your thing to some outside private data protection firm? Is it going to be, I mean, we've been doing a lot of these things, but not formally incorporating them, like green roofs or energy efficient motors or pumps or things like that. And that'll all be kind of laid out for them, right?
yeah, it'll be, I think, a little difficult for some folks because maybe their engineering reports aren't geared towards wanting to score for these new.
Right.
But everybody will be in the same boat at the beginning, and you can always update, for the next round of the IUP. So, and we'll also, as was announced by the governor in this state of the state, we'll be doing a grant program, right? If for cybersecurity, if that gets approved in the budget, and DEC, DPS, and DOH will be doing minimum standards for cybersecurity as well. So that all kind of plays together. And we'll be amending, I think, the engineering report outline as well to guide folks in what should be in their engineering report.
Yeah, I guess most of those, in many cases, a lot of those things are in there. We'll just have to help them tease it out so that they can get the additional points for incorporating those into their plans. With the asset management piece, which we all know how important that is because we watch them, we give them money, they do the project, and then we see there's no real ongoing maintenance and upkeep and replacement and repair, and we end up having to do a big project down the road again. Can you just talk a teeny bit about that, Henrik, if you could?
Yeah, it will require that the community show us that they have an asset management plan and that this project is one of the required projects or something that's required as ongoing maintenance. Generally, the larger communities have that now, an asset management plan and a capital improvement plan. So we just want to expand that, see more communities develop an asset management plan in accordance with DEC's asset management guidelines.
Okay, so it wouldn't be specifically a carve out of money that's put aside, like, endowment or anything like that. It would just be simply, is this incorporated into the asset management plan that you may already have? And if so, how?
Yes, show us that you have an asset management plan and that this project is required or is recommended by the asset management plan.
Right, great. Thank you. That's it for me.
Right, and which is supporting the asset management program that DEC with EFC support has been developing for quite some years and implementing and getting more engineers out there, helping communities with their asset management plans and doing the guidelines so that communities across the state will know how to do asset management plans.
Yeah. And hopefully they incorporate this, sort of wholly and globally across all their other projects. That this is kind of a new way of doing their business. So that would be great.
Well, it's part of business, right? So
Yeah,
it's good to be doing the business of business.
right.
So, and if I just may, on behalf of DEC, just first congratulate the team on this really important update to the regulations. I know it's been a long time since the scoring criteria EFC has been changed. So appreciate that this was, not only a very significant undertaking and will be even more so as the team now seeks to rescore the projects in the current pipeline, but also really just a critical step forward on incentivizing communities to really ensure that they're marching in the right direction here. So to that end, DEC really appreciates the partnership with EFC on some of these really critical pieces. One, as Maureen mentioned, the effort on asset management has been going on for several years of really trying to get municipalities and others to be planning for how they're going to keep up with maintenance for these systems to ensure that we have that really strong commitment over time to care for this infrastructure that we're investing so much in. So I want to celebrate that partnership and seeing really the adoption of asset management plans as part of the scoring criteria, I think represents a really, really positive step forward. So thank you to the EFC team for carrying that out as we continue to partner with you all on guidance so that we're not just putting this in the scoring criteria, but also DEC is then helping to show communities how, right? And that's a really important piece of this. And similarly with cybersecurity, we all know this is a very real threat. This is a threat that us in government take very seriously for what we have in our own systems. We know, of course, the electric sector, the utilities take this very seriously and have a lot of sophistication around cybersecurity. We also need our water and wastewater systems across New York State really ensuring that they're taking cybersecurity seriously, and we need to help show them the way how. So as DEC continues to work on our own processes to provide that guidance and regulations for who we regulate as DOH continues to move forward. Having the actual funding at EFC is a really critical piece of how we bring all these partnerships together to ensure success of the projects that we're funding. So I just want to celebrate the really important work of EFC, the continued partnership on the work between DEC, EFC, and DOH in this instance on cybersecurity, and say finally, the work on climate is really exciting. I mean, we know that a lot of these assets are in places that are prone to floods, that are prone to other climate impacts, and resilience is such a critical part of this. And of course, we know that we need to continue to lead on mitigating climate in the state too. So just really wholehearted congratulations to the team on this really important undertaking. And under a year, that's amazing. Okay, a little bit over a year. My President Coleman.
But
11 days.
still pretty cool.
Great. Anything further on ID number 1?
Um,
Go ahead, James.
Jim, I just wanted to say I think this is great work, very smartly done, provides a fantastic, very sound framework going forward. And it shows a lot of thought that I know went into it and a lot of forward thinking as well. I especially like, benchmarking to a very clear version of the Clean Water Act with stability and predictability that will give also. So I think you had a very detail oriented and, important step forward in getting these regs done. So thank you very much. I appreciate all the work that went into it.
And we do, I think Hendrik mentioned it, but need to thank DEC too, obviously, for their help.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, all those in favor of ID number 1?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. ID number 2.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation making certain determinations and authorizing certain actions in connection with the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund and authorizing financial assistance payments to certain municipalities to fund eligible drinking water projects from funds appropriated for water infrastructure improvement projects.
Thank you. Could I have a motion and a second, please? Thanks, Francis.
So moved. Second.
Adam, I think. Dave Phillips will present.
Okay, thank you. There's 11 drinking water projects for the board today. First one is for the town of Bethany in Genesee County. This is for a WIA grant. Project is for formation of the new water district number 5. This will provide public water to approximately 1,000 residents, 2 dairy farms, and a campground that are all currently served by inadequate private wells. The work includes installation of 140,000 linear feet of new water mains, 2 booster pump stations, 2 storage tanks, and water service meters on all connections. And the source of water will be supplied by the Monroe County Water Authority. Next one is for the village of Broad Alban in Fulton County. This is an extension of an existing closing, extending the maturity date to April 2027, which is needed because they had delays in design of the project and they need additional time to solicit bids and complete construction. The project's for a new 400,000 gallon storage tank to replace an existing aged tank. It also includes replacement of the aged transmission main connecting the tank into the distribution system. The next one is for the village of Cleveland in Oswego County. This is also an extension of a maturity date to November 2026. The additional time is needed to complete a contract for water meter installation and finalize costs to prepare for inclusion in the 2026 pool. The project includes a new 250,000 gallon storage tank to replace an existing tank, a new transmission main from the tank to connect into the distribution system, a new well to address source capacity and redundancy issues, and installation of new service meters throughout the system. The next project is for the Mohawk Valley Water Authority in Oneida County. This is for a WIA grant. The project is phase 3A of the raw water transmission main upgrades. This portion includes 3,500 linear feet of new 54-inch diameter raw water transmission main, which will provide a redundant conduit between the Hinckley Reservoir and the system's filtration plant. The new raw water main will increase the available supply that can be transmitted to the treatment plant and will allow the plant to operate at its full rated capacity. And then next we have 3 projects for New York City. They're all SRF market rate financings. The first one is funding phase 3 of the Queens Brooklyn Tunnel, shaft 17B1 and 18B1. The work includes excavation and construction of those shafts, which are part of the City Tunnel 3, Stage 2, located in Queens. The City Tunnel 3 is it's a new tunnel being installed, which is critical for redundancy for the city, as it will be able to provide water to city customers if the existing tunnels 1 and 2 ever need to be taken out of service. The second New York City project is funding phase 2 for the Kensico Eastview connection. This project includes construction of a second conduit tunnel to convey water from the Kensico Reservoir to the Catskill, Delaware ultraviolet disinfection facility in Eastview. Back in 2012, when the UV facility was put in place, they had to remove one of the conduits from service. They previously had 2 that they were able to use. They had to remove one due to hydraulic grade conditions, and now they're adding back a second conduit, and this will provide redundancy and enhance operational resiliency for the New York City water system. Third New York City project is for improvements at the Hillview Reservoir in Yonkers. This is a first stage of a larger project to cover that reservoir, which is expected to be done by 2049. The work of this project is for construction of chemical addition facilities and flow control facilities. And the work includes new buildings, pumps, piping, valves, electrical service, and a new SCADA system. And the Hillview Reservoir is a 900 million gallon uncovered reservoir that balances incoming flows from upstate Catskill, Delaware aqueducts and provides storage and pressure to the city's distribution system. Next two projects I'm actually going to present together as the scope of the two SRF listings is really one larger project. These are for the town of Oneonta. This is a creation of the town water, Southside Water Districts 5 and 6. These will be receiving long-term interest-free financing. The project extended public water along the New York State Route 23 corridor. And the water source was 2 new groundwater sources that were developed as part of the project. The new project serves residential properties previously on private wells, and it also consolidated and serves several small public water systems, some of which had previous public health violations. Next up is the Village of Ravenna in Albany County. This is an amendment to a short-term financing or a funding increase and a time extension to June 2026. The additional funds are needed for higher than expected bid prices. And the time extension is needed because the project went through value engineering and then had to be rebid. The project includes improvements to the raw water intake and sedimentation basins at the treatment plant, water main replacement on Main Street and in the high pressure zone, a new PRV in the low pressure zone, and then replacement of all service meters for all high use customers. And the last project is for the Village of Sydney in Delaware County. This is also an extension of a maturity date to June 2026. They need the additional time to secure a wellhead protection easement. The project includes development of new well sources to replace existing sources that had elevated levels of manganese and volatile organic compounds. Project also includes replacement of aged and small diameter water mains and includes new service meters for all connections that had been previously unmetered. That's it. Any questions on any of those?
Yeah, sorry, just on the Hillview project, is that the one I read in the materials is being done pursuant to a consent decree with EPA, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess the question, and let me just preface by saying it's certainly not our job to audit folks or to even predict what EPA may do between now and whatever the date was, I think 2032, I think I saw. But do you have a sense as to whether or not the city has done or gone back in recent times to ensure that the project is, how should one say, going to meet the requirements of the consent decree? I mean, my worry obviously would just be that they go down a road and then at some point we have to redo and spend more money, you know, retracing it.
Right. As far as I know, they're on schedule. It is a long time out.
Not schedule, I meant scope. Like the work that's being done maps.
Yeah, as far as I know, the work being done is yep, nothing's changed. And like I said, the project before the board today is really preliminary work necessary to complete ultimately, but yep.
Right, it's 2049 completion date. So we'll have time to revisit between now and then, of course. Okay.
Anything further for Dave? Okay, all those in favor of ID number 2? Aye.
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 Unanimous. ID number 3.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation making certain determinations and authorizing certain actions in connection with the Clean Water State Revolving Fund and authorizing financial assistance payments to certain municipalities to fund eligible clean water projects from funds appropriated for clean water infrastructure projects.
Honor, could I have a motion and a second, please?
I'll make the motion on ID 3.
Thank you, Vita.
Second.
Thank you, Francis. Bill Brazell will present.
All right, good afternoon. Today we have 15 clean water projects before the board for approval. We'll start off with the City of Albany, Albany Municipal Water Finance Authority. This is a long-term financing for projects required by the Albany Pool Combined Sewer Overflow Long-Term Control Plan. The long-term control plan involves 6 communities: Albany, Troy, Cohoes, Waterville, Green Island, and Rensselaer. Currently, EFC is anticipating approximately $17 million in grants and $110 million in financings when this project is over with. This financing is for approximately $4.8 million in long-term interest-free financing. They have some additional grant dollars also still to disperse. Construction on, well, these projects, this financing includes projects that took place in Albany, Troy, and Cohoes. Construction started as early as 2017 and completed as late as 2023. Next, we have a short-term financing for the Village of Canton in St. Lawrence County. The village's wastewater treatment plant has had multiple permit exceedances in recent years, likely due to old and outdated equipment. This project includes replacement of equipment at the Riverside Pump Station to improve operator efficiency. Improvements at the treatment plant include a new septic receiving station, replacement of all 4 existing lagoon liners and associated aeration and process piping, and replacement of the existing outfall pipe. Construction is expected to start in May and be complete in July of 2026. Next, we have a short-term financing for Chautauqua County. Chautauqua County's Portland, Pomfrey, Dunkirk Sewer District is a satellite system that conveys flow to the village of Fredonia wastewater treatment plant. The sanitary sewer collection system includes areas with clay tile sewer mains and brick manholes that are known to allow inflow and infiltration into the sewer system. And this inflow and infiltration has contributed to flow exceedances in the village's treatment plant in recent years. The project includes replacing approximately 1,800 linear feet of sewer, 4,800 linear feet of cured-in-place pipelining, replacement of 4 manholes, and rehabilitation of 36 manholes. Additionally, pump stations 4 and 5 will be rehabilitated, and the meter vault at the discharge point to the district will be replaced. Construction is expected to start in May and be complete by the end of the year. Next, we have a short-term financing for the town of Chautauqua in Chautauqua County. This project continues efforts to improve water quality in Chautauqua Lake. The project will eliminate septic systems from service for approximately 90 residential properties and replace them with municipal sewers. Project is for construction of low-pressure sanitary sewer collection system consisting of approximately 8,700 linear feet of sewer force mains and 12,840 linear feet of low-pressure sewer mains, 11 manholes, along with grinder pumps and a booster pump station. Flow will be conveyed to the 500,000 gallon per day North Lake Chautauqua Sewer District wastewater treatment plant. Construction started last November and is expected to be completed in November of 2025. Next, we have a short-term financing for the town of Clifton in St. Lawrence County. The 36,600 gallon per day treatment plant serving the village of Newton Falls is being required to add effluent disinfection from May 1st to October 31st each year. Project includes a new chlorine disinfection system, a dechlorination system, and improvements to the existing rotating biological contactor system. This project was supported with an engineering planning grant from 2019. Construction is expected to start this spring and be complete in November of 2026. Next, we have a short-term financing for the town of Concord in Erie County. This project is for consolidation of the Kissing Bridge and Crane Bridge wastewater treatment plants in the town of Concord. The town owns and operates 2 sewer districts located adjacent to each other, and each previously had their own wastewater treatment plant. The flow will be consolidated from both sewer districts into an expanded Crane Ridge treatment plant. Due to concerns that the Kissing Bridge treatment plant was going to fail, the plant was decommissioned and replaced with a pump station and 1,100 linear foot force main in June of 2024. Phase 2 of the project will replace the existing Crane Ridge treatment plant with a new expanded treatment plant to treat 100,000 gallons a day. Additionally, 7 manholes in the collection system will be replaced or rehabilitated. This project was supported with an engineering planning grant from 2014. The original construction start was in 2024, and the last phases will be complete by July of 2028. That we then have a grant only for the town of Cortland in Westchester County. This project consists of construction of a pump station and force main to serve a yeshiva in the town's Furnace Brook Sewer District. The town of Cortland owns sanitary sewage collection system that conveys wastewater to Westchester County's Peekskill wastewater treatment plant. The project includes approximately 1,100 linear feet of force main, 5 manholes, air release manholes, and cleanout vaults, and a duplex pumping station. Construction is expected to start very soon and be complete by this summer. Next, we have a long-term financing for the town of Crown Point in Essex County. The town has a sanitary sewer collection system and 60,000 gallon per day wastewater treatment plant. The town entered a consent order that required rehabilitation and replacement of equipment and some sewer repairs and effluent disinfection. The project also includes rehabilitation of 4 pump stations and a new ultraviolet disinfection system at the wastewater treatment plant. This project received engineering planning grants in 2014 and 2016. Construction started in June of 2023 and should be completed this coming May. We then have another long-term financing. This for the village of Leroy in Genesee County. The village owns and operates a 1 million gallon per day wastewater treatment plant. Much of the equipment at the treatment plant had reached the end of its useful life. The plant was also required to add seasonal disinfection. The project was undertaken in 3 phases to expedite construction of critical components. Phases 1 and 3 include replacement or rehabilitation of various equipment at the treatment plant. Phase 2 was for the disinfection system. Construction started in 2016 and will be completed this spring. Next, we have a short-term financing for the city of Oswego and Oswego County. The city's east side wastewater treatment plant was constructed in 1968, has an aeration system that is highly inefficient, which has resulted in excessive energy usage and high cost to the city. Proposed project will replace 4 existing 100 horsepower blowers with 3 75 horsepower energy efficient blowers with variable frequency drives. Energy consumption is expected to be cut by over half, compared to the existing blowers. A substantial portion of this project meets EPA's Green Project Reserve requirements, and also a portion of the project was funded through our Green Innovation Grant Program. Construction started in October of 2023 and should be complete this coming October. We then have a short-term financing for the town of Pavilion in Genesee County. This project is to add ultraviolet disinfection to the town's 80,000 gallon per day wastewater treatment plant. Project was supported with an engineering planning grant from 2019. Construction started in February of this year and should be complete by the end of the year. Next, we have a short-term financing for the town of Romulus in Seneca County. The collection system that serves the hamlet of Romulus was installed over 40 years ago. Consists of about 2.2 miles of gravity sewer. Flow is conveyed to Seneca County Sewer District Number 2's 0.55 million gallon per day 5 points wastewater treatment plant. That treatment plant has experienced increased flows during wet weather due to inflow and infiltration, and they were required to undertake a sanitary sewer evaluation survey to determine the source of the I&I. This project is a result of that survey and will include approximately 800 linear feet of new sewer or replacement sewer and the lining of 2,500 linear feet of existing sewer. This project had an engineering planning grant from 2018. Construction should start this spring and be complete by the end of the year. Then have a short-term financing for the Village of Teresa in Jefferson County. The village has 3 separate wastewater treatment plants, and they're required to implement disinfection. The village is going to decommission one of their treatment plants and combine into one of the others, so they'll be down to 2. The Morgan Street and Ralston Street wastewater treatment plants will continue to operate, and they're adding chlorine disinfection at both of them. Additionally, 7 pump stations in the village collection system will be rehabilitated. Project had an engineering planning grant from 2019. Construction is expected to start this summer and be completed by the summer of 2027. Next, we have a long-term financing for the Village of Wellsville in Allegheny County. Village has a 2.2 million gallon per day treatment plant. They were required to add year-round disinfection and also to meet a reduced ammonia limit. Additionally, the sanitary sewer collection system has excessive inflow during wet weather events. The project includes a new chlorination and dechlorination system, new influent building, improvements to their trickling filter and final clarifier. In the collection system, about 7,800 linear feet of sewer were rehabilitated with cured in place pipe liner. And this project was supported with an engineering planning grant from 2014. Construction started in October of 2021 and will be complete later this spring. Finally, we have a grant only for the town of West Seneca in Erie County. The town has a collection system that discharges to Buffalo Sewer Authority. Town experiences significant inflow and infiltration during wet weather, causing sanitary sewer overflows. They have a consent order with DEC to abate sanitary sewer overflows in sewer districts 5 and 13. This is phase 8 of the town's work plan. The project will rehabilitate nearly 92,000 linear feet of sewer mains ranging in size from 8-inch to 36-inch diameter with cured in place pipe liner, spot repairs, grouting of 740 laterals, and rehabilitation of approximately 380 manholes. Project also includes installation of flow meters with integration into the town SCADA system so they can better track where flow is coming from. And construction started in August of 2023 and is expected to be complete this coming August. Of the 15 projects, 8 of them received grants through our engineering planning grant program. Very happy to see that. And are there any questions?
I love when I see the grants with the planning grants when we started those years ago. It's really paid off.
Yes, it has.
Mhm.
Great. Thanks, Bill. That was a robust list.
I know.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous to number 3. Number 4.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation authorizing the transfer of certain funds to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and establishing the terms and conditions thereof.
Your Honor, could I have a motion and a second, please?
So move. Second to Jim.
James and Francis, thank you.
Thank you.
Emily Jameson will present.
I was gonna say good morning, but it's good afternoon. So we have a $4.3 million annual payment that EFC pays to DEC every year for funding essentially staffing and administration for water quality projects. So this is our standard amount. We do it every year. It's part of our program and collaboration efforts. Any questions?
Great. I will abstain from the vote on this one.
Yeah.
Directly benefits my agency, but appreciate this one, which is somewhat beneficial to the agency, obviously. All those in favor of ID number 4? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous with 1 abstention. ID number 5. Final ID.
A resolution of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation authorizing the president of the corporation or her designee to negotiate and enter into a contract with the certified public accounting firm for the purpose of conducting required annual audits of the corporation.
Connor, could I have a motion and a second, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Adam with the second. Albert Schneid with the presentation.
Thank you. So today we are seeking authorization to enter into a 3-year contract with 2 optional 1-year extensions with KPMG, who has been our audit firm since, I believe, 2011. We went out with an RFP this fall. KPMG came back as our top choice. And we are, we've had a great working relationship with them for a long time. So we would like to continue that.
Questions for Albert?
We've been happy with KPMG and their familiarity and everything that they've done with the teams. So I'm glad that it worked out that way again.
It will be the same audit team, pretty much, at least at the senior level?
Yes, so the audit partner, Jeff Coach, is, I believe he has 2 more years before we have to rotate.
Yes, to rotate, right.
Yep. So the senior manager, she started on our single audit last year. So I believe she'll be the same as that. And, there's also continuity at the lower staff level.
And I guess just because it's a 3-year contract with a 2-year rotation, there's a transition built into that, I imagine, or at least they have a planning transition so that we don't ramp up again in the 3rd year, that there's at a senior level.
Yep. So we're required to transition.
Right.
The one that I've been through, they've done an excellent job. Jeff came in, kind of hit the ground running. So we haven't had discussions about who the next partner in the rotation is, but all signs are that there's no reason to be doubtful.
They work together.
Yeah.
Smooth transition.
Yeah, and having continuity in the underlying staff has definitely helped.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so good, they probably fight over who gets to be the partner in charge when it's time to rotate. So I can't even imagine what goes on there.
Great. Okay. All those in favor of item number 5? Aye.
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 Unanimous. Okay, any new business that we want to raise before we move to adjournment? Wonderful, great. Okay, before we adjourn, let's see, next meeting is Thursday, April 17th at 11:30, preceded by audit committee at 11. I'll take a motion in a second for adjournment.
Thought I saw 10:30 start. Did I miss that? Did I get that wrong? I'll go back and look.
I read it correctly.
Sorry, no,
I don't know though.
So moved to adjourn. Let's move.
Just be there on time.
James has got the second.
Waiting.
All right, so you got the, how'd you get that? James
Yeah,
was the
Adam,
second, yeah.
Adam James.
Thanks, guys.
All right, all
Thank
those
you.
in favor of adjournment, and we will clarify.
Aye.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. I said.
Thanks, everyone. Good work.
Thanks, everyone, and welcome.
Bye-bye.
Spring.
Welcome.
Almost there.